It's ridiculous. It's obvious what's being done out here. It's on a nightly basis. I hope the world can see now what's really going on out here, because it's getting ridiculous. It's really ridiculous. Yes, man. This is ridiculous, man. Ridiculous.
All right, y'all. I was gonna make this video last night, right after the second and third round ended, but I feel like I would have been crashing out, and I wouldn't be able to be clear mind and rationally get out these points. So I waited until the morning. The fourth round has started. I think there are a couple picks in, and Shedeur has not been picked still. This has gone too far, bro. This has gone too far. I made a video a day before the draft, and the title of it was the Shedeur Sanders hatred was never about his play. Dropping from being a top 10 pick was never about his play. The anonymous pre-draft quotes, there was nothing that happened football related between the time where he was a projected 1 or 2 quarterback in the draft, where people were saying he was, Tennessee might be looking at him. The Giants might be looking at him. Oh, Vegas really likes him. Vegas might trade up to get him. Vegas, like, even when the season was still going, when Vegas won one more game, people were like, oh, they just fumbled Shedeur. Don't act like that didn't happen. Let's not act like that didn't happen. To all the people that are trying to pretend like this is about his game, you're lying. You're lying. 0 games have been played in between the time that he was a locked first-round pick, from your words. Experts. Mel Kiper still has him as QB1. Every media channel, independent media, mainstream media, Twitter, Instagram, everybody, it was clear Cam Ward and Shedeur were the top 2 most sought-after quarterbacks at the end of the season. And then what happened? Anonymous pre-draft quotes continue to come out. Well, we didn't put a name on it. We didn't put a name on it. We didn't put a team on it. We just said, oh my God, he's so arrogant. He's so entitled. He acts like he didn't want to be here. With no actual quotes of what he said, no evidence, no name. Just, rude. He was rude. Just throwing out, blanket statements. And I do feel like Deion Sanders has enough power and enough powerful friends that I feel like something's going to come out, bro. After this draft, if Shedeur goes undrafted, which I think is definitely a possibility at this point, I'll talk about that. Or if Shedeur goes 5th, 6th, 7th round, I think something's going to come out. There's no way they're going to, this is crazy. Because we went first round, Cam Ward. It was always a discussion. QB1, Cam Ward, Shedeur. A lot of people were saying Cam because of the strong arm, because of the, Heisman finalists, the stats. It makes sense. He's bigger, stronger arm, a little bit more mobile. Cool. Give it to him. Then we went Jackson Dart. And that was a little questionable, but I could give you this. When it comes to the stats, he's at least close. If you look at passing yards, Jackson Dart's up there. And Jackson Dart's in the discussion up here with the top guys. Cam Ward, Jackson Dart, Shedeur, passing yards. Let's sort by touchdowns. Cam Ward, Shedeur. Where's Jackson Dart? Jackson Dart's 10. Okay, he's a little low, but he's in the discussion. Completion percentage. Okay, obviously we have the guys. Hold on, let me go back here because that's going to be a little bit skewed. We have all the top guys, Shedeur's 74% completion percentage, top amongst these top guys. Jackson Dart is 69%. So he's not far off. He's better than Cam Ward in that, discussion. QB rating. Again, this will be skewed by guys that barely played. But he's at least in the discussion. Completions. Most completions. Shedeur second. Jackson Dart is 16th. Okay. But okay, you want to say he played in the SEC. He played in a big conference. He does make plays on his feet, even though the plays on his feet almost always end with him getting blasted, him not going out, him not sliding. No one ever brings that up. No one brings up the negatives of him. No one brings up the negatives of Cam Ward, making a lot of reckless throws, being a bit of a gunslinger. No one ever brings that up. We only highlight the positives. And then we get to Tyler Shuck. This is when it really gets nasty for me. Because Tyler Shuck is a 6-year college quarterback. And don't hit me with people didn't even watch Louisville this year, buddy. I graduated from there. I have family that lives there. We keep up with Louisville. In no world is he better than Shedeur. In no world is he better than Shedeur. Let's look by the numbers. 6 years. 2 of those years, he was on the bench. 3 of those years, season-ending injuries. 1 of those years, solid starter. And by solid starter, I mean 3,195 yards, solid starter. His best season is not better than Shedeur's worst season. His best season is not better than Shedeur's worst season. 62% completion rate. Shedeur never was that low. 3,195 yards. Shedeur was never that low. 23 touchdowns. Shedeur was never that low. Are we seeing the same thing? So that's when it gets really disgusting for me. But okay. Tyler Shuck. Yes, he is 26 years old, which guys are about to be 26. Probably the only guy in the whole draft drafted in the 90s still. Hey, shout out to 90s babies. I'm a 90s baby. Congrats. But doesn't work out when you draft those older guys for the most part. But they take a chance on him. He is 6'5". He's 225. He's not the most mobile, but he does have good straight line speed, as we saw in his 40. So, yeah, he's athletic a little bit. Okay, cool. 6'5", they may see the upside in that. The eye test, he may pass it a little bit more than Shedeur. Cool. That's your stance. Then we go to Jalen Milroe. Who in no one's eyes is a better passer than Shedeur Sanders. So maybe this was, he's going to be a project player. They already have a starter there. Maybe they'll throw him in on some couple sets, some Wildcat type stuff, coming in on some Cam Newton shit in the red zone, some Tim Tebow scenarios, run it in the red zone. Cool. Because in no world is he a better quarterback than Shedeur. So you're not going to act like this is based off of quarterback for quarterback play. There's no world you can say that. Jalen Milroe just had 16 touchdowns and 11 interceptions. 16 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. He goes before Shedeur. And this is not weird to anybody. But okay, yeah, Jalen Milroe's he's a tool player. He's not going to be a real quarterback. He'll just be thrown in there, in certain spots. He is a very elite runner. He's a very elite athlete. One of the best 40s we've ever seen on a quarterback. Okay, that's the plan for Milroe. He's not really going to be a quarterback. We know he's not better than Shedeur, but they drafted him to be, like a specialty player. Okay. So that justifies him going before Shedeur, right? Okay, that's your argument. Then we get to Dylan Gabriel. And there is nothing. There is nothing you can tell me that Dylan Gabriel does better than Shedeur Sanders. There's nothing. There's not that he passes the eye test and is, a physically imposing quarterback. Dylan Gabriel's 5'11". There's nothing you can tell me that he's elite scrambler, an elite runner that he could be thrown in on specialty packages. He's not. There's nothing you can tell me about him having a higher upside and a higher ceiling. He's another 6-year player. He's another 3-school player. Just like Tyler Shuck. UCF, OU, Oregon. There's nothing, bro. There's absolutely nothing you can tell me that Dylan Gabriel does better than Shedeur Sanders. I don't even know what to say. After the Dylan Gabriel pick, I did not even know what to say. If Will Howard or Quinn Ewers go before Shedeur, or actually, if Shedeur doesn't go in the 4th round, I think it's over. I think he's not getting drafted. Mel Kiper has had him as the best available since 5 minutes into the draft. Mel Kiper has had him as his best available since 5 minutes into the draft, and he may go undrafted at this point. And the reason why is because the way that they've, made him slide this far, it has made it a problem where now a lot of teams can justify not drafting him because that last name comes with the media. And you can now have that built-in excuse that, we don't want that much media attention on our backup quarterback, because now he's in backup territory. You're not drafting a starter. You're not drafting somebody to be the guy. You're not drafting somebody to be the face of your franchise in the 4th, 5th, and 6th round. So now they're going to want him to take a back seat. And I'm sorry, just the way the media works, he cannot take a back seat. People want to talk about him forcing it. It ain't him forcing it. It don't have to be him forcing it. Yes, he has his own media team. Yes, he does vlogs. Yes, he has people that follow him around. But every NFL team does that now. Every team has their own media guy. Every team has their own content team. And if you think they're not going to milk the fact that Shedeur's on their team, and Shedeur might get, more views on his post than the starter, you think that's not going to be a thing? Come on, guys. Look at Tyler Shuck. This is Tyler Shuck. This is Tyler Shuck. This is Tyler Shuck. Come on, people. Oh my gosh. Remember Tim Tebow? Remember when Tim Tebow, we they gave him a chance, which Tim Tebow had a lot of questions, but he still went in the 1st round. The media presence and the popularity of Tim Tebow was looked at as a distraction. Someone still took a chance on him in the 1st round. And when they gave him a couple years to try it out and he didn't pan out as a starter, what happened? He was supposed to go to another team. People were saying he was going to play tight end. That's all the media talked about. And it became such a big distraction that it justified getting rid of him because it takes away, creates problems in the locker room when a guy that's not even playing is getting more publicity. It's a shot on your ego. So now they have a built-in excuse, but we should have never been here. We should have never been here. And it was never about his play. If anything, I think Deion hurt him. I think it's Deion. Everyone continues to pretend like it's Shedeur, pretend like it's his play, pretend like it's his, attitude, pretend like it's his, he's not worthy of it, pretend like he's only there because of his father. I don't think he's only there because of his father. I think that his being Sanders actually hurt him more than it benefited in this scenario. The opposite of what Bronny was. The opposite of Bronny James. Where it hurt him because Deion saying things like this.
Teams that I won't allow him to play for. Whoa. This is my profession. I know what's behind the curtain. We ain't got to get back there for me to understand what's not prominent for my son. I'm not doing it. Ain't no.
Shedeur is not the problem. Shedeur is not the problem. If anything, it would be Deion, bro. It would be Deion. Because they talk about these distractions. Shedeur's a good kid, bro. Good grades. Never been arrested. No allegations. No sexual assaults. No, women drama. No 5 baby mamas. No, none of that. The only distraction is the fact that Deion will be looming over your shoulder and that every mistake you make, you feel like Deion will be able to overshadow and undermine anything you say because his voice travels so much further. That is the only distraction. Nothing to do with Shedeur. Some people want to talk about his confidence. It's stupid. His confidence doesn't match his play. Very stupid, very strange, very insecure thing to say. Why would you not want an athlete to be confident? Confidence is one of the most important things that you need in an athlete. Irrational confidence is one of the only things that you need to have to become extra successful in life and reach the NFL. To be a little kid and know that there's such a small chance to make it in this league and still say, no, I'm going to do it and go for it. That takes a little bit of rational confidence to think that you can do it before you actually are that finished product. That takes a little bit of irrational confidence. So what's the problem? People said chains. Did you watch the first round of the draft? People are so disgusted by him wearing chains. Did you watch the first round of the draft? This is the NIL era. There's fucking offensive linemen with bust down chains on now. Of all races. So stop that. They say sitting out the combine, sitting out the Senior Bowl. At those moments, what was he projected as? The number 1 or number 2 quarterback in the draft. Everyone was saying it. Everyone on the TV was saying it. Everyone and their mama had him as the number 2 quarterback at the lowest. Cam Ward didn't do the combine. Cam Ward didn't do the Senior Bowl. So how is that the reason that he would drop? Why wasn't Cam Ward punished for it then? If that's the reason, if that's such a knock on him, why was Cam Ward not punished for sitting out the combine? And why was Cam Ward not punished for not doing the Senior Bowl? Just be honest. Just be honest. And then we have this. This is the quintessential summary of everyone I've seen that has a problem with Deion and Shedeur. Oh my God, you remember?
Dart, look at how many defenders are on the right side of the field.
Y'all remember this Jackson Dart moment? Interception, triple coverage in crunch time. Minute left. Minute left. Minute left. Takes a sack. 30 seconds left. Interception. Oh, no. Player gets laid. Leaves his receiver out to dry. Gets laid out. Second down. Picked off. Threw it right to him. Then what?
No. Wow.
Then what? It gets called back. They get another chance. 23 seconds left. Jackson Dart. The game on the line. 3rd and 10. Come on, guys. Let's be for real. Let's be so serious right now. And this right here, I'm going to show y'all this last clip. I'm going to be done because this is the makings of a 30 for 30. This is the makings for a 30 for 30 when Shedeur turns around, has a successful career, and all the tea leaves start to come out. This is a 30-30 potential right here. This is going to be a documentary one day, and this will be never, ever forgotten. A draft slide. This is the biggest draft slide I've ever seen. This is the biggest draft slide we have ever seen. This world, this league has ever seen. A guy going from the number 2 rated quarterback at the number 2 rated player at the most important position on the field gets undrafted, and 5 other guys under him get drafted. Maybe more. I'm not watching the draft right now. Maybe more. And this clip right here perfectly sums up everyone that has a problem with Shedeur.
That comes with it, because nobody thought the distractions were worth it.
What's the distraction, Chase?
Everything that comes with him, his camp, his off-the-field stuff, everything.
His camp, his off-the-field stuff. You said nothing. That's not an answer. His camp, which is not him. His off-the-field stuff. Can you name one?
This is the issue.
It's not the issue, Shady. No, it is not.
When you say off the field stuff, though,
all the distractions that Shedeur Sanders brings to the team.
Name one.
All of them.
Do you not think?
Wait, time out though. Hold up. Let's dissect this real quick.
That's what I'm trying to do. Easy talk.
When you keep saying it's not easy, because when you say distractions, though, right, and off the field issues. So playing in the league, the players I play with, distractions are guys that argue with the coaches, right? I want the ball. I'm not getting the ball. I'm pissed off, right? I'm not practicing hard. I'm mad. I'm pouting, right? I've seen guys do that. Guys that want contracts. I see Brandon Marshall, one of my good friends. He was putting the football. Putting the football. Okay, Antonio Brown, doing things. I'm leaving the field, taking my clothes. Okay, that's a distraction. Okay, off the field issues. Players I play with, off the field issues, domestic violence, DUIs, all these things. So when you talk and you say off the field issues and distractions, you got to elaborate because I don't know what you're talking about.
Let me try.
No.
Thank you.
But can you let him talk? Because he said it. I just want to hear what he got to say.
Shady, how can you sit here, or how can anyone sit here and not say that? I would tend to agree, just purely
Stuttering.
based on the film. That's probably why. But then you pair that with the distraction. The distractions can be Deion Sanders.
Thank you. It was never about Shedeur. It was never about his play. when pressed about it, when the issue was pushed, the real answer came out.
But then you pair that
real
with the
answer came
distractions.
out.
The distractions can be Deion Sanders. How is Deion? No, his dad. Like that's a fact. You even said it. The Sanders last name. Okay. Do you want if Shedeur is struggling? Do you?
And as I said, the number one thing that not helped him, hurt him, was his father and the Sanders last name. When they get pushed on it, when we asked them to bring up the distractions, when they asked them to bring up why Shedeur is such a terrible person, is such a terrible person to have in a locker room, all they have is his last name. It was never about his play. And I'll find this tweet real quick. I'll end it off with this tweet. Another anonymous source, of course. From one NFL executive. It's all very interesting. In our narrative-driven society, how Shedeur Sanders went from villain to victim in 2 days. The truth is, he is not a villain or a victim. Based on my convos with several people around the league, Sanders now becomes appealing to a number of teams because he is undoubtedly valuable as a developmental quarterback on a late round contract. B, this is the one right here. A somewhat humbled Sanders is a more desirable Sanders to some teams. A somewhat humbled Sanders is more desirable. We'll draft a guy that has domestic violence cases. We'll draft the guys that gets caught with guns in their car. We'll draft the guys with DOIs. We'll draft for guys who get in fights. We'll draft for guys with low grades. We'll draft guys with, injury history. But we won't draft a confident person, and we'll make him slide because maybe he's more humbled now. No one asked Johnny Manziel to be humble. No one made him slide because he wasn't humble. No one dropped Baker Mayfield's stock in the draft because he wasn't humble. Every single thing this kid does is just nitpick so much. They say he talks too much. Cam Ward just did a Twitch stream before this. Cam Ward just did a stream playing Fortnite where he was trolling and, basically implying where he was going in the draft. They would have killed Shedeur for doing that. Cam Ward arrived to Green Bay and said, damn, it's really not shit to do here. This is boring-ass city. They would have killed Shedeur for that. He never had a chance to get a fair shot. Y'all always had it out for him, and it's really nasty what's going on. I don't know if he'll get drafted. At this point, it's a joke, man. It's a joke. Thank you, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. I guess I'll put the rest of the draft on. Hey, NFL's got to be loving these ratings, though. I guarantee you they've never had this many people tuned into these later rounds. I know they're loving it. Should be ashamed of himself, though. I'm out. I'm rooting for wherever he goes. Bird gang for life, but I'm getting a Shedeur jersey wherever the hell he goes, man. Y'all ain't shit. All right, reporting back. I was late to make this video. Shedeur just went 144th to the Cleveland Browns. And it's cool. Should have never slid that far. Still baffling. I feel like some shit is going to come out that we're going to find out, these conversations that happen between these owners and GMs and whatever the hell was said in these pre-draft interviews that was supposedly so disgusting and so abhorrent that he dropped this low. This stuff will come out, bro. I'm telling you, he's too big of a name. Deion's too big of a name. Some leaks are gonna happen because there's no way that this happened based off of his play, and everyone knows this. The Browns, funny enough, the Browns could have had Travis and Shedeur, but they traded the pick away. Now they have Shedeur in the 5th, and they also got Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd, I believe. So they just drafted 2 quarterbacks for some reason. I don't know why. Now they have Deshaun Watson, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, Joe Flacco, Shedeur Sanders. Shedeur can start. Shedeur can start. We still don't know why they made him slide this far. But damn it, I'm getting the merch. I'm getting the shirt. And I think he can start on this team, bro. I'm hoping the best for him because this was just a strange day. A strange couple days. But I'm glad he got drafted. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. Cue the song. All right. That's it, y'all. I can't believe the NFL really just got me to watch all the way to the 5th round. Smart. You know what you're doing. Congrats on the ratings, NFL. You ain't slick. I'm out.